Hi, I'm Leslie Ann Corrigan, host of the Outdoor Hour on your VOCM, and I'm here at the beautiful Hungry Heart Cafe to bring you my friend Chef Maurice Boudreau, who's going to be cooking for us at the Stingray Virtual Outdoor Expo. We've got a couple of videos here from Chef Maurice. One of them is moose fajitas, and the other one is a Cod Po Boys. So if you've already taken in the moose fajitas video, you're in for a treat this time. Dig out that cod out of the freezer, or save this recipe for when you get some fresh fish this summer. It's a great recipe, and it's something that you're liable to catch here at the Hungry Heart Cafe. If you're unfamiliar with this operation, it's a fantastic restaurant in the heart of downtown St. John's. It's operated by Stella Circle as a social initiative to help marginalized people with training and employment opportunities. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Piper's. Piper's is Newfoundland's Newfoundland store, and that is so true. We were able to pick up lots of great products to do our recipes here today. We're in for a treat, and so stay tuned.
Hey guys, thanks for coming. Thanks to Leslie Ann for the introduction. Today I'm going to show you, as Leslie Ann was saying, we're going to make a Cod Po Boys sandwich. This is a really nice sandwich during the summertime when the fishery's on the go and you're hauling in the dogs. Save a few pieces for this sandwich for sure. It's classic New Orleans. It's got a little bit of French, got a little bit of zing, got a little bit of Cajun. Everything this sandwich offers is beautiful. So I'm gonna do a quick demo here of what I usually do. The recipe will be included later. So I'm just throwing things together, just gonna show you the basic idea of what we do. So I got some cod fillet here, thawed out. We had to take it from the freezer this time, so got some fillets here. And what I like to do is, for this sandwich, we're going to marinate it with a little bit of buttermilk and then a little bit of garlic. And usually what I like to do is get this in the marinade, stick it in your fridge for an hour, and then prep everything else. But for the sake of this show, we're going to marinate it and then we're going to roll. I don't have the you'll see. Alright, so we got our buttermilk. We're going to marinate cod here. And then what I like to do, some people, if you got garlic powder, you can use garlic powder. Garlic powder works just as well. But here at the cafe, what we like to do is we take the fresh garlic and we just zip it on the grater or the zester. Watch your fingers. Alright, so just quick zip. Get that in there. And that'll release some really strong garlic flavor. And then the other seasonings, you can put more seasonings in your marinade if you like. This is a real easy recipe, so there's no real rules to this one. We're just gonna mix that around. And make sure you get the garlic really into the buttermilk and mix the buttermilk all around the cod. So this is going to be this buttermilk will help for our breading. It will really help the cornmeal and the flour stick. Okay? I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I always like to season early and often. We're going to season the breading also. Okay, so what you're going to do now, you got this all tossed together here. We are going to put this aside, pop this in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll prep the rest of our stuff while we wait. Alright. Okay, so also for the po' boy, we're going to make a remoulade sauce. It's a mayonnaise-based sauce, almost like a tartar sauce, but with a few more ingredients. So you'll have your mayonnaise, a little bit of relish, and then you bump it up with a bit of caper, some fresh parsley, a little more lemon juice. You can do a little more garlic if you like. It's just a real zingy, fresh sauce that works really well with fish. And cod goes with halibut also if you like halibut. Yeah, Po Boy, check it out. Alright, so we're going to start with just mayonnaise. And take a little bit of mayo. And you know, it really depends on how many you're making, how many sandwiches you're making. And if you have tartar sauce even at home, you can really just change that, bump that up with the other ingredients, and you got yourself a quick and easy remoulade. So, got some capers here we're gonna throw in there, and just really, you can throw them in whole. Sometimes I like to just give them a quick bust, you know, just smash them up a little bit, get that flavor out. Alright, and then also another great ingredient, Italian parsley. And just give that a rough chop. You don't need to chop it too small, but definitely I wouldn't hold back on it either. It's a really key ingredient. And then we have some lemon. So the lemon, we can just zip a little bit more zest on there. Get great flavor from your zest. Remember, when you're doing zest, don't go too deep. Just one push, okay? You only want that outer layer, because right beneath that, it's really bitter. If you get that white stuff, it's really bitter. You don't want that, okay? So push, turn, push, turn, push, turn, just like that. All right. So, and then we can juice some of this in there. I'm just gonna grab the juicer because I forgot it. All right, see, I'm back. Cool. All right, so just watch that you don't get any seeds in there. Perfect. All right, and then also another key, or another ingredient is the paprika. Just a little pinch of paprika. So that really makes it a little different than your typical tartar sauce. And you can also, sometimes if I haven't, you know, if I've been up to the cabin and stuff, maybe I might not have any paprika. Maybe I forgot to bring it. I'll just use some Cajun seasoning, and that works well too, okay? So, there we have our remoulade. Very much like a tartar sauce, but it's got a little more flavor. So, oh, and a little bit of relish there. We picked up some sweet relish, so this will balance out a bit of that zing you'll get, okay? Nice condiment there. Okay. So also, all right. So next, we're gonna get our lettuce and we're gonna get our tomatoes ready. And this is really simple. So we got a couple of nice fresh Roma tomatoes. And for this, I'm just gonna use regular romaine lettuce. You can use any lettuce. Iceberg works. Or even doesn't have to be a Roma tomato. It's just this is what we got. And usually what I like to do is what we call a chiffonade. So it's a real thin slice, okay? And you just lay your lettuce down, keep it all in a bunch, really thin, shredded lettuce. All right. So, tomatoes, I always like to take the core. Be really careful when you're taking the core out. You want to get that core out there. There you go, just twist it around. Okay. pop that out, and then a couple of nice slices of this. And then after this, I think we're ready to go move into our fish breading. Okay, so we're gonna make a little mixture for the breading with cornmeal and flour. But again, if you just like cornmeal or you just like flour, you can use either or. It doesn't have to be both. I just find that the cornmeal gives it that extra little crunch when it's fried. And we're gonna fry this in some nice olive oil. Make sure it's really well cooked. Get a nice crispy coating on it. And that'll give you a really nice crunch on the sandwich. So, and we're gonna add some extra spices to that. So, all right, I think that's enough for our sandwiches. Put those here. All right, so next we're gonna move into, for this part we're gonna move into the breading of the cod. So we have some cornmeal, and we'll mix this in the container. Then we're gonna grab some flour, and probably half the flour that I used compared to the cornmeal. So yeah, 2 parts cornmeal, 1 part flour. Then we have some different spices. So the garlic is already in the cod. You can use garlic powder. If you have garlic powder, this is a great time to put garlic powder. You can put this in the breading. Onion powder also. We're going to use onion powder here. So I'll get a little bit of this. And then we have a couple more spices. So we have a little bit of cayenne. And feel free to adjust according to your heat levels, what you like. A little more paprika. And like I said, if you don't have those and you got your Cajun seasoning, toss that in too. That's a good one. You just want to be careful when you're using this. You want to be careful of any salt that you're going to add, because this usually contains quite a bit of salt. So just be mindful of that. And I will add a little pinch extra pepper, just because I like pepper. All right. So we got a really nice color going on here, and now we're going to check on the fish that's in the marinade, and we're going to toss it in here. We're going to get our pan ready, and then we're going to fry up the fish. After that, we're going to come back and we're going to build it, and then we're going to eat it. All right, cheers. All right, so we're just going to heat up our pan here over medium high with a little bit of olive oil. If you have cast iron works really good for this recipe, because you really get that really nice crunch on the outside of the fish. So we're just going to heat this up, let this go for a little bit while we bread our fish. We got our fish that was marinating in the buttermilk and garlic, and now we got our flour cornmeal mixture here with spices. So real simple, just take it, get it in there, mix it around really quick because you want that buttermilk to catch all the seasonings. Flip it over, back and forth. The buttermilk will soak up a lot of the cornmeal and I guess just the basic spices that are in there. So you get a really nice crunch, really nice coating to it. And you can see we left our pieces quite big or long because we're using sub buns for this. Like a hoagie bun almost. It's like a sub sandwich really. So yeah, when we cut it down, we cut it nice and lengthwise, and yeah, that'll fill the sandwich nicely. So. All right, so our oil is ready, so we're gonna move over now, and we're gonna start frying. It looks like it's quite hot, so just want to be careful here. and you get that, see how hot it is? That's what you want. You want a good bit of heat to start, and you don't want to overload it, okay? Just a couple pieces. If you overload your pan, you're going to drop the temperature too much, especially because the cod was in the fridge. So cold product in the hot pan is going to drop the temperature, and then you're going to lose that nice coating that is really what we're trying to get here with cornmeal and the high temps. Okay? And just a couple minutes. These are pretty, these aren't really thick fillets, but obviously the thicker they are, the longer they're going to take. If you do have thick pieces, I would suggest cutting them down at the start, and if you decide to leave it thick, you'll probably have to finish it in the oven. So just a couple minutes on each side. This smells absolutely amazing. You really smell the garlic, the onion, the Cajun seasoning. I think this is going to be a little spicy, so I hope you're ready. Alright, so a couple minutes, and I'm just going to carefully roll it over. You want to be careful when you're working with hot oil and you're turning stuff in hot oil. Key to remember is always turn it away from yourself. Okay, so really careful, flip. You learn that the hard way. And let me tell you, it doesn't leave you. When you learn that the hard way, you don't forget it. So good tip to remember when you're frying fish, always turn it away from you, especially when you have a fair amount of oil in the pan. So this got a really nice coating here. This is gonna give a really good crunch on the sandwich. And like most fish, it doesn't take very long at all. It's gonna, once this is out of this pan, I'm considering this cooked, and we're done. So we'll leave it here. We'll set it up in this pan to drain if there's any oil in it. Because you don't want to have it greasy on the sandwich. I got a rack set up here. You could set it on paper towel, just something to catch that extra bit of grease, should there be any. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out, and I'm just going to fry the other pieces, and then we're going to come back and we're going to show you how to build the sandwich. We just finished frying the cod. It's got a really crunchy, crispy layer of cornmeal on the outside, and we cooked it just medium heat, so I'm sure that the fish is nice and still moist, not overcooked on the inside. So, and thanks again to Piper's. We hit up Piper's today. We got some great products. Got these beautiful sub buns here, so we're going to use these tonight. You can toast them if you like toasted sandwich, or if it's a summertime, throw these on the barbecue or something. Personally, I don't like toasted sandwich, so I'm just going straight up. I'm building 3 because there's 3 of us here tonight, and we're all going to enjoy this next. So we got our remoulade, and nice smattering of remoulade sauce. Top and bottom's good, whatever you like. This got a little kick to it, but it's definitely got a lot of zing. The lemon and the capers. You can add a little bit of mustard. I didn't add mustard, but mustard goes really well. I mean, there's mustard in mayonnaise anyways, but a little extra, if you like, is pretty classical. So, got this. Then we got our chiffonade, our thin sliced lettuce. You can go lettuce down. And then we got our nice long pieces of battered fish here. From there. Okay, and if you want to fill it up, you can just maybe get another piece on there, cracked piece if you want. This piece looks like that'll fit right there. Perfect. And then, if you like tomato, a couple tomatoes on top. Also pickles. I mean, there's pickles in the remoulade, A lot of times you'll see recipes, they'll call for pickles to go on this. You can add pickles, you know. It's all personal preference really, but these are pretty safe ingredients, pretty classical. And then usually serve it with, you know, a few chips. You can do some fries. Alright, so as you can see, it's a real simple sandwich. It doesn't take too long to make. This is a beautiful, beautiful summer sandwich to have when you're outside, cold beer, hot day, throw a few chips on there. It's got a really nice texture, beautiful spice level, great zing from the remoulade. So yeah, shout out to Pipers. Thanks again for Pipers and Leslie Ann. Really appreciate you guys being here today, and I hope you guys can enjoy this sometime this summer.